I'm going to teach you how to boost your confidence, how to raise your self-esteem, how to feel like every day is your best day. What I want you to do first is I want you to picture this. Picture in your mind someone that you love so much. Rather, it's your child. Maybe it's your parent. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's someone who's no longer with us. They passed away. But this is someone that literally, when you think about them, you feel nothing but love and joy towards them. Picture that person. Now, what I want you to do is picture that person is standing in a room by themselves, right? And then someone comes in and walks up to them and they start criticizing them. They start being mean to them. They start telling them all kinds of negative things. They literally start picking them apart. What would you do? I can tell you what some of y'all would do. Y'all would rush over there right then and there, and you would grab that loved one and you pull them away from that person. You don't have to talk to them. But some of y'all who are like me, y'all gonna confront the person who's saying all the negative things to your loved one, like, you're not gonna talk to my friend like this. You're not gonna talk to my mother like this. You're not gonna talk to my child like this, okay? You're not gonna tear them down, okay? Why would you do that? Because the fact is that you love that person and you don't want them to have to go through the emotional torment of having someone pick them apart. So if you would protect someone that you love that much, why do you not do the same thing towards yourself? Here's the reality, okay? That person that you love so much, that's you. All right? And that person who comes in and is saying all kinds of negative, critical things towards them, that's your self-talk, all right? For some of y'all, and I can relate to this because this was me, my self-talk was literally abusive. I was constantly picking myself apart. I was constantly thinking about what was wrong with myself. I was constantly going through my day, like thinking about everything I said and everything I did, thinking about how I could have done it differently. I was living within regret. I was literally my own worst enemy, and I didn't know it. And what I didn't realize was that my low confidence and my low self-esteem was not because of what happened to me in my childhood, was not because of what happened to me in that last relationship. It wasn't about my bank account balance or my weight, okay? What it was a direct byproduct of how I talk to myself about myself. That's the first step to building your confidence up, to change how you talk to yourself about yourself. We call it your self-talk. It's so easy, okay? Here's what I want you to do. Whenever you're in a moment where you are having negative self-talk, right? You're saying, oh, I am really picking myself apart right now. I'm really being my own worst enemy. What I want you to do is, I don't care if you have to go get an envelope, get something that you can write on, okay? It's important to do this with pen and with paper, okay? Your phones are great, but I really think it's very effective to do this with pen and paper, okay? And here's the thing, no one has to see it or ever read it, okay? So if your handwriting is terrible like mine is, don't worry about it. This is literally just an exercise to boost your confidence. What I want you to do is, on that sheet of paper, write out the negative thought that you have about yourself in that moment. So let's say, I'm going to use myself for example, all right? I'm not choosing to go home for Thanksgiving this year to be with my family. Here's the reason why. I was in Tokyo about a week and a half ago. My body is still thrown off from the jet lag, okay? It's thrown off my sleep. I was getting nauseous from the jet lag, okay? It was a lot. And so the idea of going to a 3-hour time difference to go visit my family, to me, I'm just starting to get back onto a normal sleep schedule. I don't want to do that right now. I just was with my mom in Tokyo. I'm going to see my family for Christmas and all of that. I think I'm just going to stay here in LA for Thanksgiving. Even though I made that choice, right? Literally, and within my mind, I started to think, oh, you're a bad brother. Or, your mother does so much for you. You can't even go see her for Thanksgiving. I start picking myself apart. I start thinking about my nephews, thinking, oh, they're going to think that I'm a bad uncle and that I don't care. I was picking myself apart. So here's what I did, and this is what I recommend you do. I wrote on a sheet of paper the negative thought that I was having about myself, which was that basically, I'm not a good son. I'm not a good nephew. I'm not a good brother. I'm not a good whatever. I wrote it on the sheet of paper, right? And then what I did is that I had to very consciously do this. Right below that, I wrote in reasons why that was not true. Okay? So for example, I wrote in there, my mother loves me unconditionally. I wrote in there, I help support my mother. My mother works for me, okay? I literally provide my mother with the opportunity to be able to have great employment that allows her to be able to travel the world and do wonderful things. I wrote in there that my nephews love me, and even when I call them on FaceTime and don't want to talk about nothing, they are overjoyed to see me. I wrote in there that I help my father out. I wrote in there that I'm kind to my sister and that I help her out. I wrote in there every single thing that basically made my initial thought alive. Okay, I wrote in things that were counterintuitive. I wrote in things that literally reinforced in my mind positive things about the thing that I felt negatively about. This may seem like a small step, but I'm going to tell you it is extremely powerful, because what you tell yourself about yourself literally dictates how you feel about yourself, and how you feel about yourself dictates how you interact with the world, the choices you make, and literally where your life goes. If you look at your life today, it is the direct byproduct of how you view and value yourself. If you look at your relationships, both the people that you're settling for and the people who treat you in the way that you deserve to be treated, that is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. If you look at the kind of job you're in, if you're looking at how you manage your money, that's a reflection of how you view and value yourself. So when you can make a conscious choice to change how you view yourself and to change the thoughts you're thinking about yourself around any topic, you are literally setting the stage to change your future. Because what happened was this: after I wrote all those things out on a sheet of paper, and I start to see, actually, I'm a really good son. I'm a really good uncle. I'm a really great brother. And I'm not defined by this one Thanksgiving, because I see them all throughout the year. Shoot, just a couple months ago, I flew to the East Coast just to watch my nephews play an hour of like tag football. They're little kids running around with a little tag football thing on them. I did that. I'm a great uncle. When I did that, what it allowed me to do was allow me to feel really, really confident about myself. And what I want, and I said to myself, you know what? You're a good uncle. Okay, so let's think about what you're gonna buy your nephews for Hanukkah, because you know they celebrate Hanukkah. What are you gonna buy them for Hanukkah? Let's think about what you're gonna do and where you're gonna take them out when you go see them, you know, for the holiday season, when you're able to fly out in December. I started thinking about positive things that I could do, and I actually felt really good about myself and proud of myself. I'm giving you this example just to show you the instant power that comes in directly confronting the thought that you're having and consciously replacing that thought with positive things about that thought, okay? So that's the first step. The second thing that you can do to help boost your confidence is looking at what you're putting in your body. Here's the thing: what we eat literally affects our personality and our moods. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that literally can pull down your confidence and that can pull down your self-esteem. One of the things is alcohol. One of the other things is caffeine. Another thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about is sugar. I'm not against any of these things. Alcohol's fine with me, caffeine's fine with me, sugar's fine with me. What I'm not fine with is using it at a level that is affecting how I feel. These things all have depressive qualities. You can Google this, you can look it up. There's plenty of research about this, all right? And so what we know to be true about alcohol, for example, is that when you drink alcohol, you feel great, usually temporarily, but then as it's leaving your system, you start to feel bad. You know, we always joke about the person who cries when they're drunk, or how you feel so terrible during hangovers. Or for some of y'all, even like with me, what I know is that some of the worst arguments that I've gotten into within my life were at times where I either was drinking or I was hungover from drinking, okay? Alcohol, when it's leaving your system, it has a depressive quality. Same with sugar. You may eat a candy bar in the middle of the day just to kind of give yourself some energy and to feel good, but then as it starts to come down when you're driving home from work, you're feeling down, you're feeling aggravated by the traffic, you're just feeling, you're beating yourself up about something. It's because you're coming down off of that sugar high. Same thing with caffeine there. And so what I did, and this is something I would recommend that you all try, is I would recommend that you give up all three of those things, or just one of those things. Pick whichever one that you feel that you have the closest relationship with, meaning the one that you use the most, and give it up just for 30 days. I'm not trying to tell you to give up alcohol and give up all this stuff forever. I'm saying try giving it up for just 30 days, all right? And then seeing how do you feel about life, And how do you feel about yourself during that period? What I can tell you is that the first week may be a little rough because you may feel like you have withdrawals in some way, shape, or form. And to that point, when it comes to things like alcohol or something like that, if you start to feel like you're having a physical response to this, talk to your doctor. If you know that you are an alcoholic and you have a heavy dependency on alcohol, talk to your doctor before doing this, because I'm not a medical professional and I'm not someone who's an addiction counselor, all right? I'm simply talking about people who use these things at modest levels, okay? So now that I got that disclaimer out there, what I want you to do is when you're doing this, I want you to think about how you feel about yourself. So I did it. I'm actually within about week 2.5 of giving up alcohol. I've been doing it for 30 days. And what I can tell you is that my anxiety has gone down significantly. And what I can tell you is that my negative thoughts that I have gone down dramatically. I'm even noticing some weight loss because I was never a heavy drinker at all. But for me, you know, I'm in Hollywood, I'm in the entertainment industry. So, you know, every event you go out to has an alcohol sponsor. The minute you walk in, they're holding you, would you like to try our signature drink? And so even if you have one cocktail 4 nights a week, that's 4 drinks that you're putting in you. So your body consistently has alcohol within it. And it takes over a week for alcohol to fully leave your system. So it's never fully out of your system when you're drinking pretty much every single week. So when I stopped doing it, I literally have started to feel better. I'm sleeping better. I don't know how I would be dealing with this jet lag if I was drinking right now. It's literally been so helpful to me. And so for me, I'm even considering at the end of this 30 days, well, will I go back to drinking or will I not? I don't know. The verdict is still out on that. But what I can tell you is that the emotional benefits that I'm feeling have been great. And I will tell you that for me, my confidence is more important than a cocktail. So what I would recommend to you is this: consider giving up one of those 3 things, alcohol, caffeine, or sugar, for just 30 days. And then see how you feel at the end of those 30 days. If you say there was no change, by all means, go back to what you were doing before. If you recognize that there was a positive change in terms of how you feel about life and feel about yourself, then I'm not saying don't go back. What I am saying is when you go back, be conscious of how you re-engage with that substance so you can engage with it in a way that does not conflict with your overall confidence, all right? The third thing that you can do to boost your confidence is have a daily ritual that reinforces positive thinking within you. So I've got these, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not about spirituality. These are my prayer beads, right? So that's what they are. I feel like I'm on the Home Shopping Network. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, with prayer beads, it's not anything spiritual, all right? Some of y'all are saying, ooh, prayer beads, is this Christian, is this? It ain't spiritual at all for me, okay? For some people, they may use this for spirituality. For me, it's not that, all right? So this is something you can use if you're Christian. It's something you can use if you're Buddhist, Hindu, atheist. It doesn't matter, all right? What I do with the prayer beads is this, is I think about what is an emotion or an affirmation that I want to feel, right? That I want to take within me that's going to make me feel better right now. So for example, when I was talking about me choosing not to go home for Thanksgiving, I remember waking up feeling really bad the morning after I made that choice. So what I do is I have my prayer beads here and there are little beads on it, right? You see all those little beads? And what I do is I say, what is an affirmation or a thought that's gonna make me feel better right now? It's gonna make me feel more confident. It's gonna boost my self-esteem, okay? So I'm gonna say, I'm loved by my family. My family loves me. They really love me unconditionally. They support me, they understand me. They're understanding of my life. So I'm gonna say, I'm loved. So what I do is I go bead by bead. I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved. And as I say each one, I'm thinking of a thought that's positive. I'm thinking about my nephews running up and hugging me. I'm thinking about my sister telling me she loves me. I'm thinking about traveling with my mom and her speaking about me with so much pride. My mother talked about me to her friends. She talked about me with so much pride. They always say, you know, your mom is real proud of you. I say, yeah, my mother do talk about me and I love it. I think about my brother smiling at me and boosting my self-esteem. I think about my dad and my stepmom. I think about all that. I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved, I'm loved. And the reason why I'm going bead by bead by bead by bead is because it's a way for me to make sure that I reinforce this in my mind a number of times, okay? So for me, I'm not good with meditation. I can't just sit there going for 5-10 minutes. I get bored. By the time it's 2 minutes, I feel like I'm at 80 minutes, okay? I'm not someone who does that kind of stuff. So for me, this is a way for me to kind of meditate in a way, because I know that once I get through all the beats, I come all the way back around to the end, then I'm done. So, and then I also know that I've reinforced this thought in my mind all these times. So it is literally impossible for me to get to the end of this prayer bead after doing all those affirmations and not feel different in some way, okay? Because I have to be focused on this. I'm focused on moving my fingers. I'm focused on the positive thoughts. I'm focused on this, and I'm not focused on anything else. So it's literally changing the trajectory of my thinking within that moment. So when I'm done with this, I just put my beads back away in my bag, put them in the drawer, put them wherever, and I can go back into my day feeling differently. I'm gonna tell you this right now. For those of you all who really struggle with your self-esteem and really struggle with confidence, I would personally recommend doing this before bed and when you wake up, because some of y'all wake up in the morning feeling like you about to spit out nails, okay? You're mad, okay? Feeling like you got corns on your feet, okay? You just wake up mad at the world, okay? And I'm gonna tell you this right now, you're waking up feeling mad because you're going to bed, with negative thoughts. You're going to bed feeling anxious, questioning all the choices you made that day, feeling bad about yourself, thinking that you're not good enough. So it would go without saying that you're gonna wake up in the morning feeling negatively, because that was the last thing that you poured into your mind was negativity. So what I do is I make sure that the last thing I do before bed is I do my beads, okay? And sometimes I'm tired. I may not get through this whole thing. I just may get through half of it, okay? That's fine, baby. This isn't about having some kind of regimented ritual. This is about simply having a ritual within your day-to-day life that allows you to consciously pour goodness within your mind. It is so helpful to you. So I do it before bed, and I do it in the morning, and sometimes I'll do it within the middle of the day, because it literally is allowing me to consciously pour positivity within myself. And that's really what confidence is. It is you making the choice to consciously pour positivity within yourself. Just because you're confident does not mean that you won't have moments where you feel bad. It doesn't mean that you won't have moments where you have a low self-esteem. It doesn't mean that you won't have moments where you are questioning yourself. Confidence does not mean that you think perfectly. Confidence is simply a consistent way of consciously thinking that allows you to feel good. And when you don't feel good, it's allowing you to pull yourself back on track so that you can feel good again. If you like this video, go ahead and comment below and let me know some of the things that you might do that helps you to feel more confident. If there are other topics that you want me to cover, go ahead and click the link that's directly below this video at www.askmjonline.com and let me know any other topics that you want me to cover. And what I would ask of you is just to make a conscious choice every single day that you're going to do whatever it takes to feel confident, to feel happy, and to feel joy, because that's what you deserve. So go ahead and click subscribe, click like, and click share, and tag some friends on this message. Have a good one.